Good evening, everybody. This is the 7th time I've driven from Daytona to talk about this issue. Or driven from Orlando, excuse me, I'm a little nervous. If you don't know who I am, I'm an ex-Navy officer that was then a middle school teacher that decided to go homeless in Orlando last summer, and I've now been homeless in 13 cities throughout the United States for 98 days. I've personally interviewed 7,000 homeless people, and I'm a speaker on the National Coalition's board. I actually just briefed the Florida Governor's Council on Homelessness, who just issued their report. So I feel qualified to talk about this subject. I've not only lived as a homeless person, I've analyzed it deeply, and I've studied successful models throughout the United States. Since November of last year, I started attacking this issue in Volusia County. And just so you know, I'm not an outsider. I've only been in Orlando for 2 years. I lived all over Volusia County and New Smyrna, etc. I could go give you all my address. It's not important. I'm not an outsider. So the first thing I have to say is Dr. Marbut started with, if this was your child, what would you do? Well, if this was my child, I wouldn't base housing on sobriety. It's a failed model. 8% of the people that have every support system in the world, whether it be alcohol, drugs, or whatever, kick their habit the first time. And so we expect somebody that's living on the streets with the stresses of homelessness to do that, to be housed. I don't agree with that. So I'd like to educate you a little bit, and I won't take a lot of time because this is Dr. Marbut's meeting, but I'd like to educate you on a few things. First of all, there's no way a tax will be paid here. If you look it up on the internet, the reason they have a tax down in Miami is because of hurricane influence to what went through the courts. And that's very clear on the record, so that's the truth. They're going to try to pass a tax here, but you know the citizens aren't going to pay that. And so here's what I want to say. Housing is a basic human right, not a reward for clinical success. We've been talking all night about recovery, programming. These are people. He's telling you not to feed people. You know, I agree we shouldn't have feeding programs because it doesn't help people out of homelessness, but I don't in any way would I ever say don't feed somebody, nor not help somebody in need. So I'm going to say this. These are the Housing First principles. The two principles. It's not a free house for life. Don't let them sell you that. It's being used in Orlando and all over the country. And no, sir, I'll be done in 30 seconds. So here's the thing. See, they want me to stop talking because if you go look up on the internet, you will find he has had no affiliation with Haven for Hope for 5 years, and their CEO has said they made a transformation from his campus because his rules and this shelter is for jail diversion. I met with Judge Bell-Schuman, who's in this room, and she told me it was jail diversion. Every single city says it's jail diversion, and so I ask you please.
30 seconds.
Excuse me.
You said 30 seconds.
You weren't rude to anybody else. I'm almost done. Okay, here's my question. Here's my question, Dr. Marbut. I have a question for you. Why do you claim Pinellas Safe Harbor is a good model when the sheriff who runs it does not promote what you're saying? Why do you say Haven for Hope is this or that when I talk to the CEO of Haven for Hope, they say they have divorced of your procedures for over 5 years? That's my question.
Well, we can cut through all this. I'll go through them really quickly. First, Pinellas is run by the sheriff in Pinellas. And at any one time, if he thought it was a bad program, I'm sure he would shut it down. He started it up, and it works. It does great things. Pinellas County has had a 91% drop countywide in their street level homelessness. If you go look at before and after numbers, you can go look at sub numbers in St. Pete. Their numbers are down 93% at night. During the day, they're down in the high of 60. Well, he left, so I'm trying to answer his questions here. And so So,
I have two questions.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have two.